Hey guys, last October I did a review on this Eafengrow. That's the EF123, and just overall absolutely love this knife. Full tang. You can go back and watch that review if you want. But this has actually been in my camping box since I did that review, and it has went on multiple trips, and it is so useful for prepping food, cutting cordage, splitting wood. There's so many uses for this knife, and I absolutely love it. So I was in contact with Eafengrow and decided to do another review here on a smaller knife than that EF123. And this here is the EF121. It's an EDC knife, fixed blade. They're saying it's for camping and for a bunch of other activities. And then they have sent me the desert color one. As you can see, the box is very plain black, but I figured we'd do a quick unboxing, go over, features and specifications and stuff like that, and then actually use the knife and kind of see what it's about. So let's get this cut open here. All right, so not a whole lot in here. We got the knife and then a sheath, and that appears just to be some like cardboard dust on there, but yeah, that just wipes off. But let's see what this is about. It's really tight right here at start. So before we get into the knife, I'll quickly show you the little sheath that it comes with. It's some type of Kydex. It's got like holes here where you can put like a paracord through here and like strap it around your leg. You can like carry this multiple ways too. It doesn't have to just be vertical. I think that you can reposition this to where you could carry it at a slant, like if you like to cross draw or whatever on your body. So the actual clip is kind of like a tech clip knockoff. You have to like pull this little lever down here, and then you can see there's like this little grip. You grip those and squeeze in, and then that pops open. And then you can actually move these, or at least this one, to these different levels depending on your belt width. That looks like it probably accommodates up to maybe like 1.75 inches, and then obviously smaller than that. So yeah, and then it just snaps back down, and then you move that back up, locks it in place. And then once we get the knife unwrapped and stuff, we'll see what the fitment's like in that sheath. So here is the knife. We'll get it unwrapped. If there's a bunch of oil on the blade and stuff, I'll get that cleaned off before we actually start reviewing it. I don't know how they ship them. Some knives will have a bunch on it. I don't really feel any on that, so we'll kind of get into things here. All right, so again, this is the Eafengrow. The model is the EF121. It is obviously a fixed blade. It does have a full tang. It's got D2 steel, G10 handle. It almost looks like a micarta. It's not. It's just the kind of the design of it. You can see it's got some like colorful like inlays almost. It's got the red on it there. And it's also available with black G10 handles if you would prefer that instead of the desert color here. And going back to the blade for a minute, it does have like a black, like a stone wash finish to it. D2 is one of the better like budget steels. It's kind of really high, like in the like chromium, and so the hardness level is fairly good. It's corrosive resistant. It's also pretty rust resistant, and it does keep its edge pretty well. It's like once you sharpen it, it keeps an edge on it. You can see that they have EF on one side and then D2 on the other. The jimping up here is actually really, really deep cut. It doesn't look like it really from the side, but when you look at it at this angle, it's really deep. It provides a ton of grip up here for that thumb. Yeah, just as soon as your thumb gets on it, it basically does not want to move. Kind of same thing with the choil. It doesn't really look like it's all that deep when you're looking at it here, but when you look at it from this side, it's a really deep choil. And then pretty decent hand guard. I have large to extra large hands, and my hands fit on here fine. And I would say that probably 75% of my finger is blocked by that hand guard. So overall, that's pretty good. I do personally prefer this to be a little bit longer so that more of my whole finger is blocked there, but overall that actually feels pretty good. The hardware on here is T8. So if you do want to remove this for cleaning, or if you want to, you know, like dye your scales or anything like that, it is T8. The overall total length is 6.93 inches. Eafengrow is saying that the blade length is 3.42. You know, and I'm not exactly sure where they're measuring that at. To me, it looks like the blade basically stops right there by that choil, and it'd be more like 2 7/8 inches. And the handle length is 3.5 inches. And the blade thickness is 0.11. Total weight of the knife, 5.3 ounces. If you're going to be carrying it with the sheath, right at 8 ounces even. All right, let's check the fit and then the retention of the knife going into the sheath. So real positive click there. Let's check that. Zero movement, nothing at all. Like there's no side to side, no up and down. Like that thing is rock solid in there. Let's see about pulling it out. All right, that's pretty tight, right? Like that. Like that's definitely going to kind of move your belt when you go to do it. So there is a little like thumb stud right there. What I would recommend is when you go to draw it is to push with your thumb like that right there, and that will release that pretty easily. So again, imagine this is on your belt. You just grab this and then go like that, and it comes out super easy. But if you just try pulling it, that thing is tight in there. And I'm not sure if you can, I don't think you can adjust the tension, because that looks like that's all the way completely sealed there. There's no rubber bushing or anything inside of the sheath. So that the tension is the tension. But in there, boy, that thing is a snug fit. And I didn't mention it earlier, but the handles do have a lanyard hole through there. So you can put that on there as well. And if you would rather run this without the tech clip type thing here, that is removable. There's nothing on this side at all. You can see I can move that away. It's just those two right there. Remove that. You could put a lanyard through there and then drop that down into a pocket. All right, let's check out the cutting edge right from out of the box. See what this is like. Slice that pretty clean. Obviously, it's pretty sharp, but just, you know, copy paper here. Let's try some cardboard. This is not very thick cardboard. It's, I don't know, just a couple ply. It is like corrugated or whatever, but it's still not real thick. But we'll see what it does through that. Yeah, pretty clean. Now you can see a little bit better there. And again, I'm not really putting much pressure at all on this. I'm just kind of letting the blade slide along and do the work. All right, let's do some thicker cardboard. I just bought myself a solo stove. So this one's pretty thick. We'll start here in this corner. I am having to put a little more pressure. This is, again, is thick cardboard. And it is going through it pretty easily. We'll go through a couple different things of our rope here. believe it or not, this really thin stuff, scissors have a really hard time cutting through this. I don't know if it's because of how the strands go or what it is. So we'll see if this knife has any trouble at all with it. And I'm kind of just going to slide it along. I'm not really going to put much pressure. Yeah, that went right through. No problem at all. So that's real easy to do. So I just kind of let it and just slide it. And it's just going right through this stuff. No problems at all. All right. This is quite a bit thicker. A lot more strands on this. Going to spot where it's... All right, see what this does. Yep. No troubles at all with it. Pretty clean cuts overall too. So before we go outside and do some more cutting and stuff with this, I do want to show you the difference here. This is the one that I reviewed last year, and this one, the blade's almost the same size. Like, that's huge compared to this. So this is definitely something that you could, carry on your person if you want to. It's, pretty lightweight and pretty compact overall. So I have a 2x4 that's kind of had a split chunked off of it. I'm going to try to take this knife. The blade is not much bigger than what the board is, but we're going to try to basically baton this and see if we can get this to split down through here. So we're going to put that on there, and then we'll take the log here, kind of get it started. And then I wouldn't recommend doing this with your knives usually, but again, it says it's a camping knife, so we'll see what we can get here. Now I kind of, it split it, but I'm kind of half stuck, so I need to go in with this a little bit deeper. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of hit it down through there. So now my blade's sticking out a little bit more, and we'll see if we can't split that the rest of the way. Again, less than ideal way to do it, but again, we'll kind of hit it back through there again. There is a big knot right there. That's why it kind of went the opposite way on me, but again, we'll hit her a few more times. And it did split it. So, got two pieces here now. Knife still looks like it's in pretty good condition. Let's see how it'll like feather some of this wood. So if we need to do like a fire starter, so right now it's kind of more of a chunk. That's what I'm kind of looking for, is more like that there, where I can get these where they kind of will slide up like that, because then you can light those. But yeah, if you need shavings, it shaves those off no problem at all. Again, I would not recommend using this to split firewood like I was just doing out there. But they say it's a camping knife, and I would do that camping. So let's go back to the paper and see if it still has a nice edge on it. Still cutting pretty clean overall. Some of it's the paper that's, let's go to this corner, which is a little bit cleaner. Yeah. Earlier in the video, I showed it cutting through a couple different kinds of cardboard. I want to see how well it does just cutting through the tape. That's what most of us, I think, use our knives for anyways, is just cutting open boxes. Let me make sure I'm getting through here. All right, that sliced through that, no problem at all. Let's go down the center here. So I always like to push in and then just slide it. We'll see what it does here. Yep, cut through all that. I'm also looking to see if I get any like that stickiness from the tape sticking to the blade. I know a lot of times with like my regular pocket knife, I'll get done and there'll be a whole bunch of that tape residue on there. So I'm kind of purposely just trying to wedge it through here, just see if I can get some of it to stick on there. Maybe just a little bit there on it, but really not much. So I've obviously cut through, you know, paper and cardboard and the cordage, use this for batoning, just did the tape on the cardboard box. And I don't know if how well this will show up, but there's some spots like right here. I think this is probably from that batoning through that 2x4. Some spots right there. And I'm going to see if we can clean those off. I am not an expert on knives by any means, but I've been carrying a knife for probably 25 or 30 years. And I honestly just use CLP, the same stuff that I use on my guns to clean them. Like my pocket knife that I carry every day, I just spray some of this on the blade to clean the gunk and the gumminess stuff from the tape and stuff. So I'm going to spray a little bit on here and we'll see what it looks like afterwards. And just like that, all those spots that were on there are completely gone now. And that batoning, I was hitting this tip with that like stick or branch or whatever, and it didn't do any damage whatsoever to that. You know, ideally, you want to have a slightly longer blade, and probably the 2x4 is a little bit too thick for this. But I was having to hit like right down in here to get that thing to go through. And I mean, I whacked it pretty hard multiple times, and there is no damage whatsoever to that. So it's a really strong blade. So I did want to show you guys this on an actual belt. My gun belt is 1.5 inches wide, and I don't know exactly what the thickness is, but it's really thick. The thing goes on here, no problem at all. Snaps into place, no problem at all. I have noticed though that if I need to remove the knife and the sheath for whatever the reason might be, like let's say I'm going into a federal building or something like that, government building. Now I know I could always just pull the knife out and leave the sheath on, and I could probably go in no problem at all. But then you got a knife with a sharp point just like sitting in your car or whatever. Just like my gun, whenever I take it off, I like to remove the entire thing. Like my gun rarely comes out of the holster. You know, maybe occasionally at the gun range or something, but like when this goes in the safe or when I pull it off, I pull everything off, everything goes back on. I pretty much know that the gun is not going to go off when it's in this because everything is safe in here. Kind of the same thing with the knife. I like all of it to come off at one time. And when this is on you and like your leg or your hip or anything is here, it's almost impossible to get your fingers up underneath here to get to where that little lever type thing is that you have to like pull. And so it can be done. It's just like right there. I got it there. But just to kind of let you guys know, it is kind of difficult when your legs and hips and stuff are there and you're trying to reach underneath here from this angle that you can't see and then pull that little thing down. And then you can squeeze that and then pop it and get it off. But it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. So let's go over pricing and then I'll give some thoughts on this EF121. At the time of recording, Monday, August 14th, it's coming in at $28. A 5% coupons available, bringing it down to $26.40 or so. Really, really good buy for that price. You know, overall, it's pretty ergonomic. It's pretty comfortable in the hand. I will say that that little spot right there, if just with my hand size, if I am using this for a long time, that does create almost like a little pinch spot or a little hot spot there on that first finger. It's not bad. I just feel it. You can almost see like the little white mark that it'll leave. So imagine using this for a long time, like whittling or whatever you might be doing with it. It can leave a little area right there. That's why I would like to see that be a little bit bigger, and it would cover more of the finger and not put a spot right there in the middle like that. But overall, it is pretty comfortable, pretty ergonomic. The overall like sturdiness or durability of it, I'd have to give it really good scores on it. The spine is fairly thick, and like I said, I beat the crap out of it with that branch, and you can't tell that I hit it at all. I mean, it held up really, really well. And again, G10 handles, D2 steel. It's just a really good, value for your money. The sheath has great retention. Seems like it's well made. I didn't really show it earlier. I talked that you can move it, but it's like right now it's in a vertical position. So the handle would be up. If you want to carry it like in the appendix position and go across, all you do is pull these out and then just flip this around. And then you would have this screw would be over here, and then you would use that one in that spot. So you just flip this like 90 degrees. But yeah, I can definitely see this being used as an EDC knife, definitely for camping, hiking, bushcrafting, stuff like that, hunting, a whole bunch of purposes you could use this knife for. I think this would be good just to throw down in a backpack. But I will leave an Amazon link for this down in the video description if you guys want to find out more information on it. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. But yeah, that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.